that's a problem. You can't have women coming together, sharing their stories, finding their voice, finding their power, coming together to enact consequences for poor social behavior from men and from the state. You cannot have that. You cannot have that. And that's why patriarchy always produces the systemic subhuman treatment of children. All of our systems treat children as property of the parents, not developing human beings and young citizens with their own sets of needs and rights that society must invest in. Because patriarchy centers men, and if you invest in babies, that's not about men. That's not about men, right? And so if you want to maintain this coercive control, only centering men, the state does not make any investments in any welfare. You privately own a woman to extract that labor from. If you need to maintain that, if that's your goal, you need to keep women isolated. That's why they're so pro-nuclear family unit. Isolated, overworked, overburdened. That's how you maintain your extraction and your coercive control. So another thing that they were really going against for the CCDA is that it would fund women-based communities too much, right? Because women overwhelmingly the primary caregivers. So if you are funding community spaces that serve children, well, then you're also funding spaces where women are directly connecting and forming community outside of coercive male control, outside of existing power structures. And if all those broads get talking and realize how they're all getting ripped off, well, they might come together. They might come together and form communities that can hold men accountable, that can hold the state accountable. They can enact consequences together in power together for a lack of social investments, for a lack of male integrity, a lack of investment in women and children. You can't have that. Can't be funding that. And seriously, everything I just said is the conflict underpinning conservative opposition to investing in the CCDA and any and all forms of social infrastructure. Whatever fancy pants terms they want to throw out there, founding fathers, Soviet Union, no. This is their truth. This is their truth. The CCDA would have provided funds for any and all legitimate local organizations who requested them and were capable of effectively administering the programs. Well, you got civil rights, you have segregation fights going on, you have women's liberation movements. Like, that is against centralized control, right?